All right, so a lot of guys had asked me what was in my possibles pouch, what I bring, and there's no real special sauce in here, but it's what I need to stay alive potentially overnight. It always goes with me whether I, backpack in 6 miles. Once I set up my camp, I'll always grab this bag with all these contents in it, no matter where I go. So I'll go through them step by step. There's a couple things I don't have here in it right now, and I'll explain why when I get to the end. So some of it's already sitting out. This is my fire starting kit right here. This is a waterproof case with, I don't know, a bunch of these long burn matches, and then I've got the little striker right there, a couple of them. I always have a flint and steel in there in case the matches or my lighter stops working. A Bic lighter, no matter what. Trioxane tablets. These are hugely important. They'll start anywhere at any time with very little effort. Even the flint and steel will start them right up. I usually have at least one, depending on the length of the hunt and where I'm at. If I'm going to North Idaho or my home state of Washington and I was staying for 10 days, I would probably have more than two, because I'm a fire building fool, especially when it gets cold, and build more fires to warm my hands up. So I've got that in there. And then this here is a cell phone case actually, but it's got my first aid stuff that I really don't ever want to get wet. Some of it could, I guess, but there's some alcohol wipes, some disinfecting wipes in there, some antibiotic cream that I got from my buddy down at 10th Special Forces Group, and then I've got 6 sutures in there, a bunch of waterproof Band-Aids, mostly for my feet, things like that. I don't carry a whole lot of first aid stuff. The sutures, out of the 6, 3 of them I've taken apart, and instead of losing that kind of the fishing line, I've replaced it with Halo serving. Those are more for field repair on clothing, gaiters, boots, well, maybe not boots, your backpack, things like that. The other 3 are for if my buddy cuts a giant gash in his arm. Having said that, I don't really suggest to stitch yourself unless it's the last resort. It is not a bright idea to do that. So if you're going to try and do it, learn how. But either way, in here, this is tenacious tape. It's for field repair on like a insulating jacket, your sleeping bag. This stuff is worth its weight in gold. They make a few different colors. This is green, but it's part of my repair kit. This here is just as important as almost anything in here. It's Leuko tape. Leuko tape is the only thing I've found that'll stick to your skin for multiple days at a time, in a couple weeks at some points. I get it on Amazon, and I can't say enough about it. This stuff is amazing. Don't try and unroll it and roll it back onto something else. Something to do with how it works as far as adhering to the skin once it's exposed to oxygen. But 2, it's a pain in the butt to get off a roll of whatever you roll it onto. So I use it throughout the year for my feet, and then I'll save smaller rolls. So Leuko tape. This here, I usually carry Aquamira or MSR water tablets. This is my backup water purification system, but it's also my, what I would call a bulk water purification system. It, really you've got, let's say a Sterapin. Water is fairly prevalent as you're hiking throughout the day. You use an Nalgene with the Sterapin. But filling up a 6 to 10 liter bladder for camp water sucks. So I use this or the tablets for bulk as well as my secondary purification system. This is my primary headlamp. I go back and forth. This has a lot farther throw. It's a Petzl Myo RXP. They got a newer one out, I guess, this year, and this headlamp's been bomb-proof. It's been all over the world, and I can't say enough about it. It's a little heavy, takes AA batteries, but if I don't want to get cliffed out, like packing out a goat in the dark or something, this definitely helps. Also blood trailing, it's pretty handy. This is a Havalon knife. I keep this one as clean as possible. I also keep one in my kill kit. The reason why I use this one, on shorter trips, I don't always bring this one. A lot of it's for foot or first aid, as weird as that is. It is a surgical blade. As long as I don't have parts of a dead animal on it, obviously, I'll use it to cut off blisters if someone gets a blister or pop a blister. I cut off part of my buddy Scott's toenail when we were in, or Patrick Scott, when we were in the territories. He had a bad hangnail, so I had to perform some surgery. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying do anything like that, but you also kind of got to do what you got to do. And hangnail, or ingrown toenails is what it was, and they suck. I cut his, just put a slit down his, kind of his toenail with this. I was real careful, got it down as far as I could, and then grabbed it with basically a little set of a Leatherman, and then yanked that bastard out. But Avalon knife. This here serves several purposes. This isn't my kill kit rope, although sometimes I'll use this. It's 2mm cord. It can also be used for a secondary bootlace, which is what these two are. They're a little bit shorter, same length as my bootlaces. I also can use it to hang up game bags, which this is enough for me to hang up a bull elk solo with a little bit of ingenuity. This here's a patch kit. I've got a little of my own special sauce in here. This is kind of a Gore-Tex patch, so it'll work on Gore-Tex or Event. It works on some tints, some of them it doesn't. This is seam grip. This is good for multiple things. If you put little pinholes in your sleeping bag or your insulating jacket, even Gore-Tex, you can just gob this on there and kind of smooth it around, and that'll plug the hole. So this seam grip is a little like taking a semi through the drive-through to buy a hamburger. You don't need quite that much seam grip, but it doesn't bother me that much to carry that, and it is handy. An extra spoon. Seems like once I stopped carrying $20 titanium spoons, I stopped losing them, but this is a GSI, outdoor spoon. I don't know, I always lose my spoon, so I carry an extra one. In here, and this is my migraine pills. Sometimes I bring an injection with me, but there's migraine pills in here, Oxycontin, ibuprofen, melatonin, Tylenol PM, energy pills. I think I've got, those are Blaze pills from Mountain Ops, and extra set of contacts, extra set of batteries. That also, obviously with the batteries, goes along with the length of hunt that I'm on. At the minimum, I carry 3 single A batteries, or excuse me, double A batteries. Depending upon what headlamp I'm running, I'll use triple A's. This is a Petzl E-Lite right here, and that's duct tape. That Petzl E-Lite's been a lifesaver. I suggest everyone carries those no matter what. And that's it. What I'm missing, if I'm bow hunting, will be an archery repair kit. That will be 2 D-loops, pre-stretched, the identical size of the one that's already on my bow. I tie a little knock points or whatever with serving above and below my knock, so if my D-loop gets worn out or breaks, I just cut it off and tie one of the extra ones on. I carry 2 field tips, obviously commensurate with what I'm shooting that year, so 125 grain. I carry Halo serving, a length of that. I don't carry super glue anymore because I actually have super glue in this. I don't know if I mentioned it. And actually that's it. Oh, Allen wrenches. I carry Allen wrenches. I don't carry a whole set. I carry what's pertinent to my bow, meaning modules sometimes, and I do dot them with Loctite, but sometimes modules or draw stops will come loose enough to adjust my arrow rest and my sight. Those are the big ones. I don't carry any big Allen wrenches. If my arrow rest comes loose, for some reason I didn't do my job when I put my bow together. I'll do another video later on what I call backcountry proofing your bow, how I mark different things to make sure it stays on. I'll also bring extra food. Not a lot, usually like some hammer gels, maybe a Quest bar or a Victory bar, or excuse me, things like that. And that's about it. I really don't carry any more than that in this, but this goes with me, you know, no matter what, no matter where I go, I can stay overnight with this and also fix myself or somebody with me enough for a standard injury. You cut a femoral artery, it may not be good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to crimp that thing off, but you know, normal stuff, I can fix it. So either way, that's what's in my Possibles pouch.